Hey, how's it going?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I got a question for you again.
I'm ready.
Okay, so you're familiar with a koala, right? The animal?
Yes.
Okay, so the koala, I just wanted to make sure.
I'm familiar.
The koala is considered one of the weaker animals in the animal
Is
kingdom.
it really?
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Not very strong.
Because I've heard they were kind of rude and mean.
Surely they're mean, but I in terms of like raw physical strength,
Okay.
I know this because I just looked it up. Because I wanted to... Now, this is a hypothetical. We're not actually going to be beating up animals.
Oh my God.
But the question is, how big do you think a koala would have to be to kill you?
I think a regular
No
koala
way.
could probably kill me.
No way. I mean, like, okay, so put it in perspective. Like, if a koala was a golden retriever size, do you think that you could beat the koala up?
No, I don't.
What?
I don't think I could.
According to the article that I read about koalas, they are so incredibly weak that, like, their bones are brittle.
I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. That's the problem. It's not
Physically?
a strength, physicality question. It's a do I have it in me to strike another living being?
The koala is coming for your life.
I don't think it would do that.
No, it is.
I don't think it would.
I
don't
an
like
evil.
this question.
Well, we're in it now.
Okay.
You come up with the question next week if you don't like the question.
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's that I just
Scenario.
really don't think I could hurt the little koala.
Listen, scenario. It's a Nazi koala. Evil Nazi German scientists have experimented on koalas, trying to turn them into mad killing machines. Okay?
Okay.
They have made it the size of a German Shepherd. And they have now sent it to kill you. Could you defeat it at the size of a German Shepherd?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. I've never played a contact sport.
That's true. You don't really have anything to gauge.
I've never hurt anyone. I've never punched anybody. I've never inflicted physical damage on any being.
You have never been in a physical altercation ever.
Never.
That is insane.
So
to
I
me.
honestly don't know. I
Right,
mean,
you have nothing.
Given the fact that there would be adrenaline,
Yeah.
probably I could in a fight to the death with the
size of a German Shepherd.
Nazi German Shepherd koala.
Yeah.
Maybe I could.
What if it was the size of a small pig?
Probably not. I don't know. I'm not that strong.
This is what I'm trying to determine at which size it would be over. Because for me, I'm thinking like bear size. Koala.
You could defeat it.
No, I think at the bear size would be the end.
All
like a
right.
black bear.
Sized koala.
Yes, exactly. Not a black bear itself. A black bear sized koala would defeat me. But anything below that, I've got it.
I
they're
honestly
weak.
don't know. I've never done anything like that. I'm a very gentle
I'm going to be completely honest
person.
with you.
I would love for your input on what
I
size
Googled
koala.
icebreakers for today's opening question.
It's a very interesting one.
No, I couldn't find any that I liked. They were all like,
Stupid.
yeah, like what's your favorite movie? So my brain decided to come up with a fight to the death with a koala. I don't know. It was weird, but my thing
It's an
is
interesting question.
you've got to think about like scale versus muscularity.
Right.
That's why I also Googled weakest animals, because in terms of muscularity, koalas are apparently, I don't know, maybe they are, but according to this one article that I read, they're not very muscular and they have brittle bones. So,
That's probably because they only eat leaves.
right. Koala that is koala sized, obviously you're kicking that thing across
'cause
the
they're
country,
kinda
right?
small. Yeah.
That's not going to be a threat to you.
Yeah.
German Shepherd sized koala,
Could go either way.
bear sized koala, that thing's taking
I'm
you out.
Totally dead. Yeah.
For me,
100%.
yeah, I think anything below a bear, it would be an even fight with bear-sized koala, based solely
could go
on
either way.
Yes, but there's something to be said about just sheer mass at that point.
It could just lay on top.
It could
of
just be so big that even though I'm stronger and better leveraged, it would still just crush me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm fascinated by that.
That's a very interesting question.
This is the way my brain works.
I love that.
But
I love
I
that
think
about you.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's because of my friends. Because one of our main topics of discussion was if one of our friends could defeat a bear cat or a bobcat.
Who would it be?
No. One specific friend.
Oh.
He believes that
could.
in hand-to-hand combat, he could kill a bobcat. Absolutely no way. There's no chance in hell. A bobcat is a vicious animal.
Right.
So then in my mind, I said, well, what is a not...
It's got claws.
It is a killing machine.
It is, yeah.
A koala is not that. Right. Koala is not a killing machine.
It is not a killing machine.
Bad boy eats leaves, spits on people. He's got brittle bones. But what size of koala would then become a killing machine? But then we've got to get into the topic of, does size change your inherent nature?
Does size matter?
Not that question. Does size change your inherent nature? No, I don't think so. I think a horse-sized koala is still
it's still a koala.
Homeboy's just looking for some leaves.
Sure.
He's not trying to kill you.
Right.
So then we flip it on its head.
And turn it into a Nazi koala.
No, well, that's why I had to do something to get you to physically interact with the koala.
Yeah.
So Nazi koala.
It would have to come at me first.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
But let's say now, let's take a tiger.
A small tiger.
And we turn the tiger into a chihuahua. Are you able to defeat that tiger? Absolutely.
Yeah, probably. Just kick it.
Again, so where's the midline? Is it pig-sized tiger?
No, that's still got
You think that would kill you?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an animal that's smaller than a pig, but not as small as a chihuahua. A very large cat. A house cat.
But a tiger?
But a tiger. So it has gone through all of its tiger upbringing.
It's de-evolved.
Yes, we've taken it
to
back.
The size of a house cat.
You think you could beat it?
That one could go either way because it's still got the teeth.
So we found your
still got claws.
Yes. It still has the nature of a tiger.
Of a killing machine.
Yeah.
Probably not.
No, I think that's probably...
Because it knows to go for the throat.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they spring at you.
Right. They jump.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
What about you?
I don't think I could beat a tiger in any... Chihuahua, I could kick
Chihuahua tiger, a rat-sized tiger.
Rat-sized tiger, you step
peasy,
on it.
Right?
Easy mode. But yeah, any type of dog or cat, I mean, honestly, it would depend on the context. If I was sneaking up on it, then yes. If it got the drop on me,
they can
over.
Can't they feel vibrations in the ground?
That's what I'm saying. He does all the prowling.
Right.
And then he's just at me and I'm done.
Like he's a predator. He can sense.
This is what I mean. So then nature seems to be the prevailing thing, regardless of size.
Sure.
Because some of the most deadly things on the planet are very small.
Like
spiders.
Bacteria.
Wow. Even smaller than I was going.
Yeah.
I was going like box jellyfish.
Like by H.G. Wells, The Martian or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's like these giant
War of
Martians.
the Worlds.
That's what it is.
War of the Worlds.
But yeah, and they just
only
totally
thing that kills them is
destroy
germs.
humanity and then they get the flu.
Yep.
And they all die.
That is a strange movie with Tom Cruise in it.
Great book.
Fun fact about that movie. That was the first PG-13 movie I saw in theaters, and I damn near pissed my pants.
Really?
I was so scared.
I've
I
never
was
seen
so terrified.
I only read the
It's
novel.
not a scary book. Like, the concept is scary, but it's not a horror movie.
It gives me hope in case aliens ever come because they will probably succumb to unusual
no bacteria in space.
I mean, humans succumb to unusual bacteria within our own world if we go to a different area.
That we're not used to.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good point. We've got a built-in defense mechanism.
Exactly. So come on, aliens.
This is a challenge to you, aliens.
ETs.
We've spent 9 minutes of this podcast talking about absolute nonsense.
Well, I'm thinking a lot about bacteria right now just because of the book that I just finished.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the real topic of today then. Okay. Well, first and foremost, if you guys think you could beat up a tiger-sized koala or a koala-sized tiger, put it in the comments.
We're converging.
That's what I'm saying. So flip them around.
All right.
Which one do you think you could take? I'm still going koala-sized or tiger-sized koala.
Yeah, that's what I would pick.
Because it's nature for me.
Yeah.
They're chilling. They just want leaves, dude.
I don't think I could defeat a tiger of any size.
No. But give me the koala any day.
I probably would still die to a tiger-sized koala,
good
but
fight.
I'd at least have a fighting chance.
Welcome to the Black Bear Barbell Podcast.
Welcome.
I'm Jonah.
I'm Sarah.
Hope you enjoyed the first 10 minutes of nonsense. This podcast is brought to you by the Black Bear Barbell Training Service. If you are looking to take your time in the gym to the next level, you feel like you don't really have any direction, you've got goals, but you don't know how to reach them, I am the guy for you. Instagram DMs, The email address is in the description. Get in contact with me and we can get talking on how to change your lifestyle, get you on a nutrition plan, and get you in the gym and reaching your goals faster this year. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Sounds great. So get in contact with me. I do most things remote, but if you are in the Atlanta area and you want to do something in person, we could do that as well.
Sure.
Today, we're going to talk about stress. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk all things stress and stress management.
Yeah. I got a lot of stress.
Yeah. I think both of us do.
I got a lot of stress.
But I'm here to say...
Try to manage it.
But I'm here to say that it's not always a bad thing.
No. I think stress keeps me productive.
Stress is incredibly important.
Yeah.
Because without stress, obviously, we're not doing anything.
Right.
I think it's definitely that...
Or just a koala.
Right. It's definitely the aspect of... you need some type of stress to continue to move you forward.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
You know, in my mind, like when I was doing a lot of my personal training studies and the idea that like metabolic stress and physical stress is incredibly important for growth. Obviously, your muscles don't grow unless they are presented with a new stressor, a new stimulus that then forces you to growth.
Right.
But the important part about that I think a lot of people forget is you also need the other aspect of it, which is rest.
Yeah.
So when we talk about stress, it helps me because I filter everything through the gym lens.
You do.
That's just who I am.
It makes sense for you.
It makes sense for me. It helps me to connect, but you filter that through that lens. So obviously, yes, we need stress. We need deadlines. We need these things that force us forward. But we also need to take a moment to step back.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's really important.
Because I think modern people, especially within the last couple of years, there's been this push towards self-care and de-stressing and whatever tactics you use. And I think we may have gone a little too far to one side.
I think it was necessary. I think there was a really high level of stress at that time.
Yes.
But I think there is such thing as too much relaxing. I mean, there comes a point where you're just not doing anything.
Right. Right. I don't want to sound like I'm anti-relaxation.
No,
at all.
I love to relax.
It's one of my favorite things.
But you very easily get to a point where you're upset because you're too relaxed.
Earlier today.
Yeah, it happens to you every weekend. That's what I'm saying.
Like Saturday around 10:30, 11, depending on when I wake up in the morning. Because I wake up early, unfortunately. That's just my life.
But it's like
I'm done with everything.
8 hours to go in the day. And you're miserable.
Yeah.
You're just skulking around. Like, I'm not trying to get on you.
No, it's true.
But it is. You're like skulking around and it's like, well, do you need something to do? I'll give you something to do. Like, trying to be helpful, right?
No, I get it.
But yeah,
I get done with recording the batches of videos that I want to record for the week, do a little editing, and then, I take a step away from it. Then I go back to it tomorrow. But by that point, I've accomplished something.
Yeah.
I did my cardio today. Right. I've had breakfast. I've had my snack. I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs. Like, what are we doing?
I've read some interesting figures about like how much free time, what's the perfect amount of free time a day. And there's like a bunch of different numbers floating around there, but it's all in like multiple hours, like 3, 4, 4.5 hours
is ideal?
A day is the ideal.
No way.
And to me, that's crazy. Because there's a day like a Saturday when you have like 6 hours of free time and you like want to jump out the window. Like you
for me
general
personally,
people,
I definitely,
right? And like for me, there are no days where I have 4 hours of free time.
Yeah, but you did.
I guess.
Like,
but that's a lot. Imagine like the average day. You're lucky to have 2 hours of free time, and like that's plenty. And I'm happy with that.
I agree to a certain extent, but
like 4 hours. What are you
4
gonna
hours.
Do with 4 hours of free time every day?
It's a long time.
That's a lot.
But like, my thing is, that's why I think it's so helpful to have like a second, not a second job, but like a
creative outlet,
right? Because I can spend
creativity is a great stress outlet,
right? I can spend 4 hours. Maybe not 4, 2 to 3 hours, like making videos and making content,
right? Yeah,
researching and recording and editing. Like I can do, but the thing is, like that doesn't really feel like work for me,
right?
It does to a certain extent.
A lot of like research on stress does point to like creativity as an outlet. Like actively doing something you enjoy and that's creative. Like I can spend hours making bread.
Right.
Or I can spend hours, like, I don't know, doing a craft.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's true.
Yeah, but 4 hours of doing a craft, that's a lot.
Well, I think for me, it's variety now.
Yeah.
Like I have never been one to be able to do one task for an extremely long period of time. Even stuff that I really love.
Yeah.
Like I was fascinated by the Twitch streamers. So if you don't know Twitch, these people, they stream video games, they stream everything.
Like live
stream.
It's live video, yeah.
And I did a lot of that during the pandemic, and I could go for maximum 6 hours.
And you didn't do
I
that
did
very
that
much.
maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
And that was so mentally draining for me.
Yeah, you really struggled.
That by the time I was done with that, I just
have to go to bed.
Yeah. But there are people that do
like 12
daily
hours.
12, 14-hour streams.
I don't know how.
Playing the same game.
Over and over.
Over and over and over again. And I am fascinated by their ability to do that.
Yeah, I am too.
Because, like I said, I like to do, like, if I'm doing something for more than 2 hours, I feel like, okay, it's time to switch things up. And this is something that's, I'm growing into that more and more. I used to be able to, when I was younger, just kind of, but I think I value my time a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that there's many teenagers who really value every moment of the day.
No, I don't think so. Because when you're that young, you feel like you have all the time in the world. Right, 100%. Yeah. And I mean, we're 27, so we still kind of feel like that.
We're old,
but I definitely am starting more and more like my time is very precious to me.
Yeah, me too.
But it's becoming a problem now, and I'll tell you why. I get so caught up in the fact that my time is important and precious to me that I don't do anything.
Right, it's like you have to figure out the maximum.
What's the perfect thing? Yeah.
Right,
what's the thing that I need to be doing
right now?
And then I just don't do anything. I sit on my iPad and play games or scroll through Reddit or something. It's like
you're stressing yourself out with how to spend your leisure time.
100%.
Yeah. You might need to do more self-care.
Well, that's the thing that I'm trying to, because I like to be distracted. That's why I go to the gym. That's why I like working, because when I'm doing a task, I don't have to think about, is this the perfect thing I could be doing with my time? This is just what I do.
This is what you do.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find like one or two more hobbies, not really, but like things to do that I do every day that kind of take time. I have that luxury. That's a very privileged thing to say, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I have that luxury to, I do my work, we make a good living, and then we are blessed with that free time that I am having a hard time filling.
Right.
And so I think,
it's hard.
That's why I've been pouring so much into the channel lately.
And I think that's great.
Great. I'm loving it.
It's a creative outlet for
Definitely.
you. And that is, it's not always relaxing.
No, there's definitely.
It can be.
Yeah.
And like in the moment, it's probably not very relaxing. But then you can look back and say, man, I did a great job last month. Like, that's awesome. And you get a, feeling
definitely taking a project from the idea that I have to completion in the long view is relaxing. I think the minutia in the middle of it, like, oh my God, Premiere crashed on me again. And sometimes I've lost an hour of work.
Can
That's
be a
miserable.
cause of stress.
Right, exactly. So I think all this to say that the framing of it and the context of it definitely can result in whether it's a stressor or a stress reliever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I like taking deadlines away from things. Like I can definitely turn my hobbies into work.
Yes. We both have a pretty bad habit of that.
I really tend to do that.
Yeah.
Like I've been working on I'm going to sound like a grandma, but an embroidery project.
Yeah.
I like being a grandma. It's fine. And it's a Christmas one, and it's
currently March.
Right. But I've been working on it for over 6 months already, and I haven't had any time to do it. Yeah, since like last September. And it wasn't done, and I knew it wasn't going to be done by Christmas because it's large. Right. But I was hoping that it would be done by this Christmas and framed, and I could put it up on the wall.
Right.
And it's not halfway done yet.
But it's March.
But I've been working on it for 6 months. So, but I need to take away the deadline
Yeah.
so that I can enjoy it again. Because
Right.
it's kind of the last couple weeks, it's been like, there have been some small pockets of time, like on the weekend that I could have picked it up. And it's like, oh man, it's never going to be done anyway. Like, I'll just
Right.
do it next weekend.
That's
It doesn't
the thing.
matter. I'll just do something else right now.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all a waste of, it's a waste of effort if it's not going to be done by Christmas anyway.
Yeah.
But like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully
right.
I have a lot of Christmases left in my life. It
Right.
doesn't need to be done by this one.
I've been
fine.
I've been trying to just do the thing that comes into my head first.
Yeah.
You know?
Fun.
Have fun. Right. Especially on
Relax.
days like Saturday where it's like, you know what, I can take a couple hours to play video games, or,
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm so blessed to have that time. Let me use it instead of just like
Right.
spiraling like what's going to give me the most enjoyment for, who cares?
There's definitely a time and a place for like maximizing how you use your time, but there's also a time and place for just doing whatever.
Yeah.
You like jumping on whatever wave
Yeah.
rolls by and
I
just
think
like, you know what? I'm going to do this today.
The
What
deadline
heck?
thing that you talked about that's something that I definitely struggle with. Like I love a schedule
Yeah, I do too.
and like an end point.
Mm-hmm.
I really like with my calorie deficit, I'm 8 weeks in. I've got 8 weeks to go. With my current training program, I'm on week 2 of 4,
Yeah.
right? And I like those milestones to be able to check in, like, this is the progress you've made. But some things don't work like that.
Some things aren't about progress.
Right. So I think part of growth as a human is understanding which things work for you on a strict deadline and which things work for you more in a nebulous like time frame.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm definitely still working on.
Yeah.
And I think I'll get there, but right now I don't have it.
Yeah, that's something that used to stress me out a lot about with my reading.
Yeah.
Like the Goodreads app, which I love, Be My Friend on Goodreads. It like lets you set a reading challenge for every year.
Yeah.
And the first year I did that, I was still in college and it was like so crazy and I was applying to grad schools at the time. And I was stressing myself out that whole year because it'll tell you like you're 1 book ahead of schedule or you're 3 books behind schedule.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was just so
That's
upset
tough.
for like months. It was like I'm 4 books behind, or like whatever it was, behind schedule.
Yeah.
And I'm never gonna catch up. And like I was just so upset about it constantly. And I like wasn't enjoying any of my leisurely time spent reading.
Yeah.
And it like ruined books for me for months.
Yeah.
And I didn't meet my goal. And you know what? The next year rolled around and maybe I missed it by 3 books, but whatever. And it was like as soon as I let go of like meeting the challenge, and so like the next couple years I met the challenge exactly because I like parsed things out just so.
Right. You had
and like
a
that
little
was
bit more
great and like whatever.
idea of how to do
But
it.
like last year I was like, whatever. Like I'm going to set this goal. I'm going to set it really high. I'm probably not going to reach it anyway. So like whatever. I've never been so ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
I read more last year than I have like ever before.
Yeah.
Because I took the deadline away. Like I made a seemingly unattainable goal. And so that I could let myself just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And like whatever. And I exceeded it. Like I went like almost 10 books above what I'd said.
Nice.
Because there was no deadline. It was just fun.
Yeah.
And it was great.
I think I tried to do a very similar thing when I first got into film school. So I got into film school about, 8 months before I actually started film school.
Yeah.
So I had this moment of time where I knew what I was doing. I had a hard cap. I started in August and I got in like March or April. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to watch through like the 100 best movies of all time on IMDb or whatever, Metacritic. I don't remember what site I was doing, but I wanted to do a movie a day. Mm-hmm. And I became so fixated on did I watch my movie today? That I was just like,
it was like homework.
Right. What the hell am I doing? Like, I love watching movies. Why am I putting myself in, like, why am I feeling bad about not hitting this goal?
Creating stress.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a big point about de-stressing in general is you have to stop creating unnecessary stress in your life.
There is so much stuff that is unavoidable stress that you cannot then pile on more stress on top of that.
Yeah.
In your attempt to de-stress.
Right.
Like that's...
And I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't have that problem like we do. But there's
I don't
a lot
know,
of
maybe,
people who do, I think, and
Yeah.
can resonate with that.
We have a couple neurotic tendencies like that.
A couple.
Okay. You more than me.
I have a lot of neurotic tendencies. That is my I don't know what that psychology test is called.
The Big Five.
Neuroticism is my highest one.
Yeah.
Like by far.
That one gets a bad rap, but it's not terrible.
I find it to be very accurate.
Man.
I mean, before I took it, I was like, I'm going to be pretty neurotic.
Yeah.
I just read the Big Five, and I pretty much guessed exactly which order they would come in. I don't remember what they all are.
Yeah.
Like openness to experience.
Conscientiousness. I don't remember.
Openness to experience is one.
Yeah. Openness, conscientiousness.
Neuroticism.
Extroverted, introverted.
Is that on there?
I don't remember.
It doesn't really matter, but neuroticism
I was
is
a
pretty
psych
high on.
minor. We did studies on that.
Yeah.
Shows you how much I'm using my college degree.
Yeah.
I don't even
you
remember.
made me take that for one of your homework assignments.
We had to have 5 people take the test. I'm not a huge... I mean, I like personality tests because I think that they can kind of illuminate a little bit about, but some people get script their lives by what their Enneagram. I'm an INPFJ or whatever the hell those are. I know what I almost just called it IMDb. I know what my Myers-Briggs what is.
It?
Yeah.
And it's not to brag, but it's the rarest one.
Oh wow. Wow.
I can't remember if it's INTJ or INFJ. I think it's INFJ.
It's no way is it F.
It might be INTJ.
It's T.
I'm really close between the F and the T though.
Really?
And sometimes it flips.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
Because it's think, thoughts, and feelings, right?
Yeah.
No way are you feelings.
I'm pretty feelings.
I mean, I guess. I'm definitely thoughts.
I'm going to have to look it up. But
look it up later.
Anyway. But yeah, and I know what my Enneagram is, but I don't know what the wings of my Enneagram are. Who gives...
I don't know what my Enneagram is. But anyway, those are just tools. But my thing is I don't really think that you can effectively put someone's whole personality in a box.
No, but I think it can give you some insight about, overly stressing about my leisure time might be something I need to, and maybe that's something that you never realized about yourself.
Right.
And now you can,
utilize it a little bit more effectively.
Right.
I'm all for data. I'm a big fan of just more and more data. So I'm down for taking all those tests. But again, I don't think that they should be like a death sentence, quote unquote.
No.
It changes.
I find them kind of fun. I find them kind of relaxing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's your Hogwarts house? Do you remember?
Yeah, of course
Hufflepuff.
I know. No, I'm a Ravenclaw.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Come on. Hufflepuff is my second one, though.
Guess what mine is?
Are you a Gryffindor?
Gryffindor, Hufflepuff. Yeah.
Oh, we're both Hufflepuffs.
I know.
Secondary
Hufflepuffs.
That's great.
So something that I have found to be helpful in terms of de-stressing is being proactive with your de-stressing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So in college, learning about who I was as a human being, I felt like during the week I was doing so much work. LOL, not really, but that's what I felt like. So then on Saturday and Sunday, I would do absolutely nothing. And then I would get further behind. And so the weeks would start to stack on each other. And by the time finals came around, I would be in trouble. There was my freshman year, I didn't do any of my Spanish homework and I had a 38 in the Spanish grade. I still got a B because
you hadn't done any of your homework.
I didn't do any of the homework, but my tests and my quizzes grade was so high that it balanced out. So I made it out of there fine, no worries. But
you were probably pretty stressed at the time.
Definitely stressed. I was like, oh God. It was my first real college class. All that to say, now as an adult, I recognize that the weekend or days when I have a lighter schedule at the gym can be used to better prepare my upcoming next day or next week, which I think we have actually done really well this year of doing that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so.
So we do a huge laundry day on Saturday, prepping us for the rest of the week. You meal prep all of your lunches, all of my lunches. Thank you for doing that because I would be in some serious trouble if that was on me.
I don't know what you would eat.
Nothing. No, that's not true. I would eat like Jimmy John's.
Right.
So thank you for keeping me on the straight and narrow. Is there anything else you do on Saturdays? I mean, I do batch recording for videos and stuff.
Right. I mean, no, I find cleaning to be pretty relaxing.
Yeah.
But I do kind of get into that problem of stressing about it.
Yeah.
But I do find it to be not only relaxing to do, but it keeps me more relaxed throughout the week. If things
that's what I mean.
Look good. But I get really, at least not quite as bad now, but it's like I would have to check off all of these things that I wanted to do every week as far as like cleaning on the weekends or throughout the week.
Right.
And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I haven't dusted this week. And it would like ruin my week because I didn't have time to dust. I hate dusting.
Right.
I try to do it when I think about it. But I don't do it as much as I should. And you know what? It's
says
okay.
Says who? Who is the dusting police that says that we should
I mean,
dust?
we both do have allergies, to be fair.
Well, screw that.
But I do that a lot on the weekends. Like I like to wake up early, but I wake up before the stores for running my errands are open. So it's like, I like to wake up and be productive and, slowly listen to a podcast or an audiobook as I do my tasks around the house.
Yeah.
And for me, that's fun and relaxing. But you have to manage doing what needs to be done with overdoing it, like just beating yourself, berating yourself for not doing everything perfectly all the time.
That's a big point about it is like, just because that's not to say that you need to use Saturday to set you up, but some days you just want to lay around. That's fine. That's part of it.
Yeah.
But I have found that it saves me preemptively from a lot of struggle during the week.
Yeah.
If I can get my mind around how can I set this up to be better.
That's something that kind of has always come naturally to me.
Yeah, you're really good at that.
Because I'm so neurotic, I think. Not to brag, but I am pretty neurotic. So yeah, I mean, I remember like studying for tests. I would always like, break down high priority information, low priority, and like schedule out. Okay, today's a high priority day, and then
man,
like
from
middle school.
You're
I've been
a different breed.
I'm a planner. I'm a planner person. And I enjoy that. And to me, that's even fun. Like I find a lot of de-stressing from like using cute pens and stickers and like writing things down.
Whereas that would just drive me insane.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm pretty much always prepared for like the average things. Like there's always going to be something in life that you're not prepared for. But I mean, your day to day, the stuff that you're expecting. My day to day is pretty, and like we're both creatures of habit and routine, so it's kind of the same types of things we need to be getting ready for a lot. So it helps.
Routine.
I find routine to be very relaxing.
Routine gets a bad rap.
Routine is awesome.
I'm gonna go on record here and say that I'd rather be in a stable routine than just chaos all over the place, all over the time.
How could you ever get anything done?
I love it.
I love it.
It's great.
Yeah, I do too. But, when you find a routine that works for you.
Right.
If you're like forced into somebody else's routine, obviously that would be very distressing. But, I don't know, when you've settled into a comfortable routine that like, you can still do fun things and like whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But like just to have kind of habits in place and rhythms and routines in place that it takes the difficulty out of planning your life because you know what to expect. And I think that that's really wonderful. I think there's a lot of value in that. At least there is for me.
Definitely.
I love it.
I think that it's always in the middle in terms of like, like I don't want what I said about using the weekend to be like, oh, I've got to be so proactive on the weekend that I don't, We're not
that proactive on the weekend.
No, but we do.
We have the laundry going while we relax upstairs.
Right.
Like it's really not that big of a deal.
Right.
But it makes all the difference because you don't, open the drawer at 4:00 in the morning and say, oh shoot, I don't have any clean underwear.
Yeah, which has happened to me before.
And that would be very stressful because, you just you set the laundry going in the morning and then you go about your business and like, boom. Underwear clean.
That's happened in college. I wore the same bathing suit
to all of your finals for an entire week because you didn't do the laundry.
Okay, here's what happened. I knew that I was going home soon.
And I think that's very typical college person.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say guy because I did the same thing too. I always brought home a full
I knew
laundry hamper.
That when I got home, my mom would wash my clothes for me. Mm-hmm. But I had parsed out enough underwear I thought to make it.
Yikes.
Not true. I missed it by a week. So your boy slapped on a swimsuit and it was my lucky swimsuit because I aced all my finals that day.
Yep, you did.
So,
but I think that has more to do with you being smart.
Maybe.
I don't think it had anything to do with your bathing suit.
I think it did. I think the bathing suit had magic powers.
Do you still have the bathing suit?
I do. I will never get rid of it because it has magic powers.
Okay. Well, there you go.
It's sitting upstairs. I don't wear it anymore, but its aura is still around me. No,
you should wear it for like the Super Bowl. If your team's ever in the Super Bowl, you should wear your lucky bathing suit and like see what happens.
Well, here's the thing. I know it's like Schrodinger's bathing suit. It's in the box right now. So it's lucky and unlucky at the same time.
Okay.
If I prove that it's unlucky, then it's gone forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It kind of destroys the myth.
It destroys the myth. So I'm going to leave it and it's both things.
What if I got rid of it without you knowing?
I would get over it, but I would definitely be sad.
No, but like, what if you never noticed?
I would know. It's connected to me.
Okay.
Personally. I wouldn't know, but when I found it, I would go back and say, you know, all these bad things that happened is because you threw away the lucky.
But you wouldn't know when I got rid of it.
I would figure it out. I'd start to determine when the bad things started. I would know. So we talked about proactively de-stressing. Mm-hmm. Are there any reactive habits that you do to de-stress?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know. I never know what to call it, whether it's like mindfulness or meditation
Whatever
or breathing
you
exercises. Like, I think those all kind of mean the same thing.
Yeah.
But they mean something different to each person.
Right.
This is a conversation that I had with a patient recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, you don't have to like do Om.
Yeah.
It's like, you can pray. You can think about your favorite inspirational quote or your favorite like scripture from your like religious texts.
Yeah.
You can just sit there and breathe.
Yeah.
Like I took a class in grad school that was all about like counseling.
Yeah.
And we started this is where I learned about it, was from that class. And it made a big difference. But we started every single class, which was twice a week, but every single class with 5 to 10 minutes of mindfulness.
Yeah.
And
huge fan of that.
Yeah. And it would always start with our professor, because what she would do was say to herself, I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing in. Then I'm breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Like to herself as she like breathed in and breathed out.
Yeah.
Because when she would get overwhelmed, it's like just focus on what your body is feeling. For her, that was very helpful. And she said, you know, I'm going to start us out with me saying that out loud, and then you guys do whatever you want. Go to your happy place at the beach.
Yeah.
Pray. Sit there in silence. I don't care what you do, but you got to be quiet. You got to have your eyes closed.
Yeah.
You're gonna try and figure out this whole mindfulness thing.
Yeah.
And
which is hard.
It was very hard. It was very hard. The first like couple of times felt like an eternity.
Right.
But by the end of the semester, it was like, oh, that's 5 minutes gone.
Yeah.
That was very fast. And 5 minutes, 2 minutes makes all the difference.
Huge difference.
It makes all the difference.
It doesn't have to be a long
thing. It doesn't have to be long.
That's something that I have pretty decent anxiety. It's not horrible. Mm-hmm. But I've had panic attacks before.
Oh yeah. Who hasn't?
You've found me laying on the floor multiple times in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing with panic attacks, and the thing that helps me a lot, is grounding. It's one thing that what I do is 5 things that I can feel, 4 things that I can hear, 3 things that I can see, 2 things that I can smell, and 1 thing that I think.
I like that.
And I think it's back and forth between whatever that is, but it's like, okay, I can feel my pants on my legs. I can feel the armchair, you know? Mm-hmm. It brings you back to yourself.
Yeah,
which is so helpful because you're spiraling off into some weird mind space. Yeah. But if you come back to presence, it helps to understand that, okay, this is definitely a stressor. Yeah. But it is not going to kill me. Mm-hmm. Because that's what a stress response is. If you go back to when we were living on the plains, a stress response was, this thing is going to come kill me.
This tiger-sized koala
is going to come kill me.
Is coming at me.
Right. So that was why we had the acute stress response.
Right.
The problem is we have turned it into a chronic stress response for things that are not going to kill us, that are not directly harmful to our bodily health in the moment. Right. Right. So that it helps to come back and just say, you know what? Yes, acknowledge that it is stressful. Obviously, it is a stressful thing. And there are people that deal with crazy stuff on a daily basis. And I am sympathetic to that. But you still have to continue living. Right. You still have to find a way to manage that.
Yeah. And I think the just 2 minutes of mindfulness can be really helpful. And like there's all kinds of different ways to find something to focus on to clear your head. Like I really am into like aromatherapy, like having like a smell.
You are.
That I find calming, and it changes over time. Like there's always like one scent that I like gravitate towards, which sounds so weird.
No, but I
like
think
in
it's
different
definitely...
phases of my life, it's like for me, like I can't get enough of this smell.
Right.
And it's like, oh, this one's really not doing it for me anymore. But oh my gosh, this over here, whoa.
Yeah.
And just like to focus on that, like sensory experience.
Yeah.
While I, focus on, and that also helps me focus on the deep breathing because it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Something that I do
helps me.
I'm a visual person. I learn very well visually, and so something that I do is I restrict my plane of visual focus.
That's interesting.
Right. So what that means is if there's a lot of visual information coming into me, I can realize that I'm stressing. You know, I start to. So what I'll do is I'll pull out my phone or I'll find a spot on the wall, and it's usually like just about like a quarter size of something, and I'll focus on it for like a minute while doing a parasympathetic sigh.
Is it like, are you staring at a blank
it's
size
like
of
nothing.
wall?
It's like nothing.
Like you're not staring at an object.
No, like there's in the gym, there's a painting of a gorilla on the wall at the gym that I go to, and I stare at his eye.
Okay.
And I'd like try and focus in directly on that eye and bring my vision down.
So
to
it's
that.
not an empty wall.
No, it's something.
It's something, but nothing exciting.
Because if you're looking at this white wall, your eyes can move, and you
would know.
Right, you're not really. So it's all about zoning in onto the one thing.
Does it have to be far away from you?
No.
Okay.
No, maybe for some other people, but for me, it's one thing that I can like, and it. Physically, it feels like I'm tunnel visioning. Like I can feel my field of vision like coming to closer onto that one thing. And then I'll do this thing called the parasympathetic sigh, which actually counterintuitively like amps you up a little bit, where it's 2 huge inhales through the nose and 1 exhale through the mouth. The reason you do that is the first inhale kind of breaks the alveoli sacs open. And then the second inhale increases your oxygen intake, and then you exhale.
Interesting.
And it ramps you up, but for me, that brings me back to focus.
It's probably like a hard reset.
Yeah, I think that's more so what it is. So when I feel like I'm spiraling, and that's a very rare case when I'm really struggling and I feel a panic attack coming on, and the grounding is not working. Then I will put my focus on, like I would stare at this headphone. Just for like a minute while doing the breathing.
Yeah.
And then when I finished with that, come back to a normal sense of breathing and be back to normal.
Right. And I think it's important that the people out there know that when you say grounding, you literally mean getting on the ground.
Yeah, I get on the ground.
He gets on the ground.
I lay down on the ground.
And it helps you.
It definitely does.
It would not help me. It's very uncomfortable.
No, but I like to feel like connected to the earth.
But like you've found something that helps you.
Yeah.
And I think that like no matter how like weird or wacky it seems to anybody else,
you got to find that thing.
You got to find that thing that works for you. That ain't it for me.
No, you wouldn't like that. I think that would stress you out more.
Yeah, because I'd be very uncomfortable.
Right, but for some reason, the uncomfortableness of it helps me because I'm feeling more of my body.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm very much like a mind-body connection type person, and when I'm having an anxiety attack, my mind is going and my body is just meh. You know, my mind is out, so I need to bring my mind back. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I find that really interesting.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to have their own thing that works for them.
Yep.
Like you and aromatherapy don't really see that.
Not a huge fan.
Yeah, no.
Not a huge fan of that.
No, but I love it.
Yeah.
And it works for me.
Yeah, exactly. So you got all this to say that you have to find what works best for you as a reaction to stress.
Right, like acutely in the moment.
Right.
Things are going wrong, stress levels are rising, and you need that hard reset.
Yeah.
What are you going to do in that moment to get through it?
Which brings us to our last topic on stress is like long-term de-stressors. So, you know, the one that comes to mind is like taking a bubble bath. I hate that. But
I love that.
So you have some things.
Not bubbles, but
just a warm bath. Yeah. For me, it's going on a walk.
Oh, that's nice too. I like that too.
I will take 2 or 3 days out of the week to do like a 10-minute walk outside. Because I feel like being out in nature for some reason helps me to realize that there's bigger things than me. My problems are minuscule in comparison to the grandeur of Earth, you know? And it's just nice. Yeah. It's a slow walk. You get some blood moving.
Yeah.
You breathe in, so hopefully some fresh air, depending on where you live.
Not here.
Not so much here, but
there are some nice naturey places. I'm kind of kidding.
So all that's like, I have a three-pronged approach to stress relief. Being proactive to remove stressors before they come. Being instantly reactive in the moment with my focus and my grounding techniques. And then understanding that I accumulate a lot of stress over time and I need a long-term thing that can kind of remove that long-term stress. For me, that's walks.
Yeah.
For you, I think it's taking a warm bath.
That's very rare and occasional for me because that's a pretty big time investment.
Right. But I think that is because a lot of stress has built up.
Yeah, and it's like, I think I'm going to, take a while and just relax. Have a nice warm bath. Yeah. Read a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, reading is something I talk about that all the time because I do a lot of it, but because it's kind of something that I do that relieves stress.
Your primary entertainment tools.
I also find baking to be something that I enjoy doing that's very relaxing.
I can't wait till we can get back to that.
Yeah, we've kind of come away from that a little bit because we're like
can't have
healthy
anything
and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But I do
We're going to get back to it soon.
Because a lot of it is pretty technical.
Yeah.
And I've found it very interesting to learn about like the science of like why bread rises and like how yeast and sugars and kneading and all of those things, and time and temperature and whatever, all of those things you have to understand how they interact and like what they do, whatever, to get like a really nice loaf of bread. And I love bread, so that's great.
See, that would stress me out.
But yeah, I find it very interesting. And
to each their Charlize Theron.
Yeah, exactly.
To each their own.
And bread specifically, you also get the physicality of
having to do stuff.
Beating it within an inch of its life against the counter.
Yeah.
And that can be really fun.
I mean, for me, another big one is obviously the gym.
Yeah.
But that is so much more like a lifestyle for me that I don't really see the gym as a stress reliever because it's such an integral part of my life that sometimes I get stressed by the gym as well.
Yeah. I mean, for me, whether or not exercise is relaxing kind of balances on the point of a knife. Yeah. Because if I don't do enough of it, I don't feel like as good as I would like to.
Right.
And then there's like the perfect amount where I'm doing like a nice amount of exercise and I feel good and that's, a stress reliever. But then if it's something that I don't have enough time for it or the sessions have been going a little bit longer and they're eating into like other time, to me that is very stressful because it's like, I didn't need to do this today anyway and now I've, wasted all of this time.
Right.
And it's not a waste of time, but in the moment that's the way I feel. So for me, it is a little bit more of a balancing act to figure out how much exercise is the right amount.
I do think that general movement
very important
has been shown to be a very powerful tool in the face of stress.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be dedicated exercise. Yeah. Walks, whatever it is. Swimming is very calming for some people. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll wrap it up with that prescription. Basically, whatever it is, you've got to find the ways to have a proactive approach to de-stress, a reactive in the moment approach, and then a long-term de-stressor. I think that if you can get those three things down, you have a solid chance at keeping your stress level where it needs to be, which is not zero, like we talked about at the beginning.
Right.
But it's also not so overwhelming that it's causing you pain and suffering in your life.
And you can accomplish the things that you need to
want
accomplish.
to and that you need to. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
100%.
Stress can be motivating to a point and then it becomes a barrier.
Yes.
And so you need to figure out how to keep it from becoming a barrier.
100%.
Because we've all been there and that sucks.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Oh yeah. And I think that it's something that evolves and changes as your life changes and as new responsibilities come and old ones go. And you get older and your life is always changing.
Yep.
So it's not something that everybody will always have figured out once and forever.
Right.
But
it evolves.
Yeah, but it's important to think about.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed the discussion on stress. If you have any stress relievers that you are your go-to, go ahead and put them in the comments. We'd love to hear about them.
Yeah.
We will end this week's podcast the same way we end every week's podcast.
Yeah.
Book of the week and movie of the week.
All right.
I'll go first this time because you always go first.
Yeah, I do.
Movie of the week this week is one that we watched last night.
Oh, a great one.
Bend It Like Beckham.
Bend It Like Beckham.
Don't do the English accent.
I didn't.
It was close.
I stopped myself.
So it is trash.
It is so cheesy.
It is definitely trash, but I love trash.
Yeah.
Every now and again, you need some trash in your life to appreciate high art. You know, because this movie is definitely not high art.
But it's good.
It is about a young Indian woman in England who has a very overbearing Indian family. But she loves the game of football, which is soccer to our American audience. And she wants to play. So she joins a girls' team.
She just wants to bend it like Beckham.
She just wants to bend it like Beckham.
And she's good enough to do that.
Man, she's so talented.
She's just got raw talent.
Oh, man. But it's melodrama at its finest. It's not so cheesy that it's like a Shonda Rhimes show. Oof. Which, don't even get me started on that. Sorry for all you Grey's Anatomy people.
I love Grey's Anatomy, but it is cheesy.
It's cheesy, but I
had to quit.
There's a balance. Yeah. Like, you know, like I feel like the sincerity in the performances in this movie is kind of what bridges the gap between the screenplay and the actual product that we got.
Yeah.
Because the screenplay on its own is very corny.
Yeah.
But the performances are very sincere. And it's directed very well. And I think that it works.
I think it does.
Young Keira Knightley in one of her best roles.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had never seen it before last night, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a fun time. It's a fun little watch.
Yeah. You don't have to think.
Turn your brain off.
Relax.
Yep.
De-stress.
Yep.
Whatever.
Some great moments. Some great Indian culture in there. They do a whole Indian wedding. It's cool. It's fun.
Very fun.
I would recommend it if you're looking for 2 hours to kill and a good time. It's on HBO Max. I'm sure you could rent it if you want to. Yeah. But my sister and I used to watch that movie constantly because she had a box set of DVDs. It was 4 DVDs. And I remember 3 of them. It was Stick It, which is another great movie about gymnastics. It was Sleepover, which I think it's called Sleepover, but it's about 4 girls and they go on a scavenger hunt in their sleepover. And then it was Bend It Like Beckham and Aquamarine maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, it was those 4.
Love Aquamarine.
And so when we were young, she would make me watch this. Oh my God, yeah.
Did you want to?
I wanted to watch Stick It. I loved that movie. And I loved Bend It Like Beckham. But the other 2, not so much. Yeah. But she, we'd watch them together. So I think I have a little bit of nostalgia. So there could be some nostalgia glasses going on here. But listen, it's fun. Rom-com. Have a good time with it. It's a fun time. That's my movie of the week for you.
Love that.
What's your book of the week?
So this one's kind of a funny one too. It's called Oliver the Seventh by, I'm not going to say this right, but Antal Zerb, S-Z-E-R-B.
I think Zerb is
Hungarian.
how I would probably pronounce it like that.
But it's a really kind of satirical, funny book. It's about this king, Oliver the Seventh, and he's the king of a very small, inconsequential, Middle European nation, right? And he's tired of being king because he feels like he doesn't get any real experience. So he stages a fake, being a king it's not fulfilling. It's all fake. It's not real.
I get it.
And he's not living a good life.
Yep.
Right.
Gotcha.
He's not fulfilled. And so what he does to solve this problem is he stages a fake coup so that he can escape. And he goes to Venice. And he falls in with some con men, and at the end of the day, he goes to Venice to get some real experience, to be a real person, to be a regular person. Yeah. And he falls in with this group of con men, and he ends up impersonating himself.
Oh, nice!
And it's really hilarious.
That's funny.
It's also very short. It's only 175 pages.
Oh, nice! It's like a short story.
It's a very creative, kind of. It's a very creative idea.
Yeah.
Of just so many layers of falsehood, but it's because a guy is searching out real experience and a life well lived, but it's just falsehood after falsehood after falsehood. It's
That's cool.
He lies about the coup, and then he falls in with con men, and he's impersonating his own self under an alias of whoever he's supposed to be when he's in Venice, and it's just
a lot.
So weird. And but it makes you think about what is reality, what is valuable experience, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just really funny.
Yeah.
And it's short and quick and fun.
There you go.
Yeah. So there you go. Oliver the Seventh.
Highly recommend it. A couple quick, light reads and watches for you this week.
It's a funny one.
Thank you so much for joining us on yet again another episode of the Black Bear Barbell Podcast. You know, these are fun to do.
They are.
And we'll probably keep doing them. Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. If you have an idea for a topic that you'd like for us to discuss, we'd love to hear it. Go ahead and comment down below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do that as well.
Yeah. We're almost to 100.
Almost to 100 subs, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much for the constant support.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. We'll see you next week, everybody. Get strong and stay strong. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.